What is up there? Welcome to a brand new video on 414 Anime. In today's video, we're going to look into the very interesting yet very tragic origins of Yoshino. We're going to look into the backstory of Yoshino, where we find out how she became a spirit, her life before that, and we will also find out the origins of the legendary rabbit puppet, Yoshinon. The Date A Live Origins series are videos that I really enjoy making. Now, I've covered the origins of Toki Yatagami, Origami Tobi Ichi, and Kurumi Tokasaki, so make sure you check out the playlist in the description below to find out more of the Date A Live backstories that I have covered. Of course, if you do enjoy this video, make sure to smash the like button and share this video with a fellow Date A Live fam. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified when future Date A Live videos go live on the channel. And of course, it goes without saying, but there will be spoilers here, so just a heads up. Anyway, with that being said, grab yourself a beverage, let's roll intro and get straight into the video. Our dear Yoshino has definitely got quite the sad and tragic backstory, to which I think all the spirits pretty much do, to be honest. I don't think any of them have really had a great time before becoming a spirit. Suppose it makes things a little bit more entertaining for us as consumers of the story, but still, not good for them. So, I'm a firm believer of not looting the lolly, though I do not throw any shade on those of you that are into the lollies, each to their own. You know? Anyway, you may be asking, why am I bringing this up? Well, though our kawaii Date A Live lolly Yoshino has the appearance of a 13 to 14-year-old girl, she is in fact in her 40s. Yes, you heard me right. So, is she safe to lewd? Well, I'll leave that one up to you. How, why, and what the frig is she 40? Well, I'll cover that a little later on. Now, to understand Yoshino's path, we must first observe her backstory. Her backstory happened approximately 26 years prior to the beginning of the main series, and Yoshino had completely lost all of these memories up until around chapter 4 of volume 21 of the light novel. So, Yoshino was a really sick child who spent the very vast of her life in a hospital. Yoshino was brought up by a single widowed mother called Nagisa Himekawa. Now, we don't know an awful lot about her mother other than the information I will share to you throughout this video, but based on the fact that she is widowed and is bringing up a very sickly child tells us that she has not had the best of times. We know that she has been taking care of her only daughter the best she can, so it tells us that Nagisa is a very brave and very strong woman, so props to her on that. Mad respect from me, as I was also brought up by a single mother and I've seen firsthand how much strength and courage that entails. So, respect from me. As for Yoshino's life, yeah, that was very hard. Extremely abnormal to the life that an average child has. Yoshino lost her father at an early age, and she was so sick to the point that the hospital room and the view from her window was the only life that she knew. You may be asking, what was Yoshino sick from? And unfortunately, I don't know. There was no information around regarding her illness, but we know that it was very serious and also life-threatening. One day, Nagisa visited Yoshino, but had brought with her a gift. This gift was a rabbit puppet by the name of Yoshinon. Nagisa told Yoshino that the puppet Yoshinon was a symbol that her mother was always looking out for her even when she was not at the hospital with her. Remember, Nagisa is a single parent with a sick child, meaning that she has to go to work so the two can survive financially. And because she is the family's sole source of income, it meant that she was really busy with work and had to work extremely hard. This puppet was Nagisa's way of reminding the young Yoshino, who of course must have been incredibly lonely, as it is suggested that Nagisa was all that Yoshino had, besides maybe some of the hospital staff, that she was always by her side, even if she couldn't physically be there. This puppet of course meant the world to Yoshino, and it made her incredibly happy. Enough so that Yoshino told her mother that she was going to make a younger rabbit puppet that would represent her and give that as a gift to her mother, so the two would have that special symbol each. Unfortunately, tragedy is going to strike again for Yoshino, as she would never get the opportunity to gift her mother the rabbit puppet, as Nagisa was in a work-related accident that resulted in her death. This crushed Yoshino. I struggle to even form the right words to describe just how much of a devastating blow this was for her. She had literally just lost everything. Yoshino's now spent her time crying over the realization that she would no longer receive any more visits from her mother. And to make things worse, Yoshino's health drastically decreased. Her illness had now gotten so bad that she had great difficulty just breathing. The end was near for Yoshino, but Mio Takamiya, the spirit of origin, appeared before her. Mio gave Yoshino a Sephira crystal that not only turned Yoshino into a spirit, but also cured Yoshino of all of her illness. Why Mio chose Yoshino is unclear, and it's not been explained to us. We know for Mio it wasn't an act of kindness, as her own goals were elsewhere, and the gift of the Sephira crystal was, for her own gain. Maybe because Yoshino had been through such hardships, she must have had a stronger will and would be able to survive the process of becoming a spirit, but that's just my theory anyway. Now, what happened to Yoshino between this moment and her debut in the main series is pretty much unknown. We do know that, like most of the other spirits, Yoshino would appear in the world through spacequakes, though she would also appear in the world without causing them. We also know whenever Yoshino appeared in the world, it would rain. Whether Yoshino wanted it to or not, it would always happen, and I personally think that the rain was a representation of the tragedy and sadness that Yoshino carried with her wherever she would go. And at this point, you'd think that it couldn't get worse for Yoshino, but unfortunately it does, and in my opinion, this is almost the worst of it. Of course, when Yoshino appears in the world and a spacequake occurs, the AST are on red alert and straight on her trail in order to kill her. Yoshino has no memories of her time before she was a spirit and also has no contact with others. She is completely alone and she is constantly on the run from people who are trying to kill her for simply existing. Yoshino would never harm another. She doesn't even fight back against the AST because she doesn't want to hurt another person. I think this is amazing in itself, considering the amount of hurt she has gone through and is still going through, but of course at the same time, she doesn't have her memories, but still, you know what I mean. Now, this is where I think her suffering takes the worst turn. Remember I said that she had no contact with anyone else and she was lonely? Well, she did have one thing, and that was the rabbit puppet Yoshinon. Yoshino is a person who at this point is extremely withdrawn. She is completely alone in this world, and it was in her loneliness that she started talking to the rabbit puppet that was on her left hand. Yoshino's struggles drove her to the point of talking to the puppet, and through ventriloquism created a personality in Yoshinon that she could confide in and help her bear with her hardships. Since she had lost her memories, Yoshino had forgotten what Yoshinon originally was and what it was a symbol of, and created Yoshinon into her ideal hero. We know Yoshino, of course, as a shy and timid person who wouldn't hurt another. Yoshinon is the complete opposite of this. For Yoshino, Yoshinon is the person that she wishes she could be. And it's interesting too, because though she had lost all of her memories, subconsciously, the hero she had created in Yoshinon was actually based on her mother Nagisa's personality. So you may ask why this is possibly the worst thing that had happened to her. Well, through creating Yoshinon, she made this entity that when separated from, Yoshino herself became almost comatose. Yoshino's mental health had rapidly decreased. She was driven to the point where she and Yoshinon believe that Yoshinon is actually alive and it's its own person. The pair don't understand what ventriloquism is. She even got to the point where Yoshino stopped talking for herself and let Yoshinon speak for her. And there we go, that was Yoshino's origins. Yoshino's backstory is definitely one of the hardest to break down. She had gone through so much in fact that it had driven her to borderline insanity in the creation of Yoshinon. I'm a massive fan of Yoshinon. I love that character and I always enjoy the scenes where it is involved, but after researching and learning Yoshino's origins, I definitely look at the whole situation in a completely different way. I'm like gobsmacked even, like to think how much it's mentally made her it's crazy. But anyway, if you do enjoy this video and you'd like to see more Data Live videos like this one, make sure to smash the like button and share this video with a fellow fan of the series. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. There is plenty more Data Live content on its way and I do not want you to miss what's to come. Of course, a huge shout out to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Make sure to check out the link in the description below to see what rewards are on offer now. But that is it from me. Till next time, my fellow weebs. Peace.